Now, the idea of buying a home while it's still on the drawing board is that you should be able to choose your fixtures and fittings and be involved right from the start. But there's always the possibility that it won't come off the drawing board. Here are some cautionary tales.
We're having a housewarming party at my new, extremely expensive riverside pad near Tower Bridge. It's a big do, but I've been very thorough, and I don't think I've forgotten anything. The champagne is chilled, the party games are ready, and my guests have just arrived. Nothing is missing from our swinging, housewarming celebration, except one thing: the house. No house, but come September next year, there should be nearly 100 flats on this site, some going for £850,000. But even at those telephone number prices, all but 3 have already been sold. Buying on trust and out of a brochure may seem risky, but there's no shortage of takers. It's called off-plan purchasing, and with a rising market, more and more people are buying before a brick is in place.
When you're buying off-plan, you're entering into a contract with a developer for something that you have not yet seen. You might have seen a show house, you may have seen a sales office, you may see a bullet point specification, but you haven't actually seen the apartment or the house that you're going to be living in.
Point West, West London. In the late 80s, 300 people paid deposits averaging £65,000 on off-plan flats here. It now has new owners, but in 1990 the developer, Point West Apartments plc, went bust with debts of £16 million and left buyers looking into a black hole.
I had paid £42,000, which completely went down the drain. This money was there for my retirement. It's caused me considerable mental anguish. I had no recourse to anyone, no legal protection.
10 years of uncertainty, but Minu Randiria did get his deposit back, eventually.
It was only through a technicality, a legal technicality, that I've got this money back, because the people who signed up after me haven't got a single penny back.
Problems don't just occur when the market falls. Things can go wrong just as easily when prices are on the up.
There are a lot of developers who will take advantage not just of the legal system but of the rising property market to be able to withdraw from sales reservation agreements, remarket properties at much higher prices, leaving the purchasers very little redress.
Plot 19, Belgravia Close, Barnet, marketed as a pleasant two-bedroom house in a quiet, off-plan development. It was exactly what Claire Owers and Anthony Jones were looking for. Early last year, they paid a £500 reservation fee to developer Michael Shanley Homes Limited. They were told contracts would be exchanged by March. 3 months later, they were still waiting.
We first realised something was drastically wrong when we went to the solicitors to exchange contracts with the chequebook. He said everything's fine, but there's a small problem. They haven't got planning permission for the development, not just for our property, but for the whole site.
It's apparently legal to market a property without full planning permission, but without consulting Claire and Anthony, Shanley also changed the planning application from 2-bedroom to 3 and told them this would cost an extra £30,000.
We just couldn't afford to pay. It was totally unacceptable to take our money in the first place, and then when it suited them, just to send it back to us and say, we don't want your custom, goodbye. It's totally unacceptable.
Yeah, it's one rule for them
And another
for us.
In the end, the planners said no to 3 bedrooms, Shanley said no to the 2-bedroom deal, and Claire and Anthony had no place to call home.
We were hoping to move in straight away and hopefully get married at the end of last year, but obviously that all turned sour because we had nowhere to live and we both had to move back with our parents.
A year later, Claire and Anthony had had enough. They got their money back and bought this cottage, having counted the bedrooms first. Michael Shanley says,
"We never entered into any contract with Anthony Jones and Claire Owers. We submitted a fresh planning application in order to eliminate a car park now being requested by planning officials."
Quite how changing 2 bedrooms into 3 eliminates a car park remains a mystery. All Claire and Anthony had to go on was a brochure, and many off-plan purchases are made on nothing more than a rough floor plan and an artist's impression. Other buyers are seduced by the high-tech wizardry of virtual reality and, of course, the show home. All of these give you a feel of what the place might be like when it's finished, but give no legal guarantee of what you end up with.
Purchasers generally don't appreciate that when they put their deposit down and sign the sales reservation agreement, that's not a legally binding document. It's a document that's very much in favour of the developer.
If you want to avoid any unpleasant surprises when you finally get to move in, you should ask for a detailed specification. Even with this, it's still a good idea to have a surveyor and an architect look over the spec for what might be left out.